Bam! Magandang gabi, magandang umaga sa mga kapwa ko Pilipino. Ako po si Red Andal ng Canada.
Ako naman, Carlo David ng California.
Buenas noches, mga amigos and amigas. This Jose or Joey.
There you go.
Okay.
English, Tagalog, Mexican, Kastila. Guys, bago tayo tumuloy, i-share muna natin tong ating live para marami tayong makasama sa ating kwentuhan. Oo, shoot. Okay, share. Share lang natin mga kapatid. Join us, lagay ko. Join us in PGCast Tambayan. Jonathan, if you're watching, we are waiting for you.
I think andito na siya.
Okay, bring him in.
Okay. Hold on.
Bring him in. Oh, wait, how do I do this? Allah.
Eto na po.
Ayun, si Jonathan.
Wow! Ayun
My
na
favorite Canadian Pinoygrapher.
si 007.
One of them.
Where's everybody else?
Okay?
Where's everybody else? Asan yung iba?
Oh no, tayo lang.
Normally kasi ang format is kumbaga sa 4 or 5 tapos the rest will be viewers tapos kumbaga sa kung every other week tayo, di ba? Para tayo meron tayong interviewer tapos kwentuhan tayo on every other week.
Okay.
Tapos kung sinong pwede nating isasama natin.
Yeah.
Whoever is willing to join, yun, ayos yan. Kwentuhan lang.
Ay, dapat pala nag-set up ako ng galing ng mga background light nyo.
Ay. Speaking of who wants to join, Roxy is watching us. Roxy, maybe you want to join us. Came on down.
Came on down, sexy Foxy Roxy. Yeah, see.
Roxy is here.
Sige. Tingnan natin si Roxy. Bibigyan ko siya ng link. Sandali.
Yeah, hopefully sumama siya. But kamusta Jonathan?
Okay lang.
Joey?
Yes, siyempre.
Long time no see, ah.
Yeah, Karaman, when did you visit? 10 years ago siguro ata yun 2010 or something like that. Ano na ata. Si Red Cap ha? You just had to go with the brand Red.
Red's recipes.
Ano na yan eh. Yan ang look.
Yeah.
Is that, ano yan, where are you, Carlo? Ano yan, studio mo?
Hindi, ano to? Garahe.
Yeah,
Tampakan ng mga garahe.
Pwede. It's the same thing.
Nasa back Universal Studio.
Oo, bakla alang.
Wala akong background. But at least si Joey may flying carpet, pati si Joey sa likod yan. Paint.
Dapat na pala
Nasa Joey?
Ano?
Bahay ka, Joey?
Oo, nasa bahay. Lumipat ako.
Okay.
Sa kusina. Sa dining set.
By the way nga pala, sinasabi ko kay Carlo kanina, congrats kung LA Dodger fans kayo.
Yeah, I think last time sila, I think tagal na, Kirk Gibson was the last time. Kirk Gibson pa yun. I don't know how
80s yata. Baseball, Dodger fans kayo parehas. Are you guys watching it even? Mga taga-California, hindi?
Ako?
Oo.
Hindi. Ang napanood ko eh.
Wala.
Mahirap baseball is
mahirap timingan.
If you don't know, that's not hindi tulad ng basketball or anything else na yung spectators reactionary sport. Yung baseball kasi you have to know what they're trying to do. Kasi kung alam mo yung strategy, you know what they're supposed to do, nihintay mo lang kung can they execute it. You know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're looking for errors, you know. So everybody's executing. So everything, alam nila, this is the situation, this is what's got to happen. So these are 2, 3, contingencies, possibilities. So these are our plays. Ganun yung
Saka parang hindi ka pwedeng basta lang papasok, panoorin. You have to know the situation. Like, in this situation, usually these are the options. These are your options na kung anong pwede mong gawin, Well, what's your priority? Runner first, second, home, anong score, anong inning, Ayun eh. So it's a thinking man's sport. So unless you know kung anong gagawin nila, mahirap sa casual sport spectators na Plus, kailangan mo...
Naghihintay lang eh.
Saka,
gusto nila parang basketball, they react to basketball. Right. They just say, bilis eh, kasi bilis ng basketball.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Pero no, it's a good game. I watch all sports, so as much as I can. So. Lalo na ngayon.
Lalo na ngayon.
Congrats. Fans man kayo, hindi. Congrats, nanalo pa rin kayo. So, I guess pwede na tayo munang bumalik sa ating photography na
topics.
ating pwede natin actually i-recap yung episode last week. I don't know, Jonathan, kung napanood mo, pero I think si Joey napanood niya. Pero yung guest natin last week is magaling. At saka, kumbaga is first time meeting him, pero ibang klase to na magandang guest. So, I don't know kung may mga comments kayo.
Magaling, hindi, maganda. Like I said, ako mismo na-browse ko yung tapos nakita ko yung palang sa pro photo, na-excite ako doon yung, pwede mo i-sync sa phone pala. Tapos maganda yung niya, yung gusto niyang ma-achieve na na yung palabasin nga, di ba, yung sinabi niya na gusto niya mapawaw yung mga tao, lahat ng shoot niya puro sa phone.
Yes.
Majority sa atin ngayon, like ako, hindi ko na nadadala yung SLR camera ko, lagi phone lang. Most of the time, puro phone, right? So, kaya, alam mo, magandang yun Kaya next time, magandang topic natin yun, yung strictly sa tayo, phone.
Yeah, phone photography. Yun sana talaga.
80% phone.
Right.
Yeah. And then, saka, kasi yung technology na ngayon, kasi nga, yung nasabi niya last week, it's yung Lightroom mobile. So from his camera, diretso na sa Lightroom niya, and then he can composite. Lalo na ngayong with the new Photoshop na mobile din and Lightroom, sky replacement, everything can be done on the phone.
Yeah.
Tapos kung talagang pupuliduhin mo na lang, pag nasa cloud, kasi since merong cloud diretso, you can access the files from the cloud diretso na sa desktop mo. And then doon ka na mag-edit, pag save mo, ready na.
Ang pinaka-gusto ko narinig na sa sinabi niya, aside from yung technology part, yung pinaka-the best na sinabi niya na ang maganda sa very limited ka sa phone, sa magagawa mo. Right. And then you will be more
mag-iisip ka. Yeah.
Exactly.
More creative ka than relying sa sa
gadgets.
Yeah, that's exactly that should always be your mentality anyways, kahit DSLR. Like ganun din ako kahit sa DSLR just purely because tamad ako sa post. Tamad ako sa post. I rely a lot. So people always ask me, how do you shoot? So, I mean, I don't shoot as obviously as much na tulad ng dati, diba? But kasi yung style ko kasi more street, that life, street photography. So my I'd say 80% of my thought process is before I press that shutter. So my creative process is like thinking of the scene, the lighting, everything. That's all being thought of before I even lift kung ano mga camera to point to shoot. Right. So and kung ano yung scene, if I like the scene, I like the lighting, and I like the dynamics, ayun, take 2-3 frames, that's it, tapos na. So pagkatapos niyan, it's just a matter of minor adjustments of everything to me is lights and shadows. The rest is secondary. Like those just add. Pero usually dark areas and bright areas. So those are my main focus. The balance of that, colors and everything else and shapes are all help in composing. Kasi our human brain thinks that way, diba? Pero you always talaga before I press the shutter, I already have. I'm 80-90% there kung ano na yun. I expect what I'm gonna get. I know what I'm gonna get after that.
Di ba, dati nga si Dennis ata meron siyang wedding na ginawa. 50mm lang ang dala niyang lente. That's it.
I did weddings. Ang isang 35-1.4. That was it.
Yun lang. Talaga macha-challenge ka talaga eh.
You walk.
Right. So, but the thing is, mahirap yun kasi pag yung capital, right? Nasa harapan ng pare, how do you do that shot? Kung wala kang telepono, wala kang second shooter. Yeah. Tapos gamit mo 50mm or yung gamit ni Jonathan na even shorter.
Yeah.
But prime pa.
Kailangan tumakbo ka.
No, no. So, yung sinasabi ni Jonathan is okay yon kung i-hire ka ng kliyente based on your art. Kasi ang ano dyan is, ang karamihan, mainstream photography, ang gusto nila coverage. So, kagaya na sabi ni Joey, kung gusto nung nagkikissing, malayo ka, kailangan mo ng telephoto. Kailangan mo, it's a big group, kailangan mo ng wide. You have to have all the gear. Most ng wedding photography, ganon. Pero may mga siguro 10%, 20% na they will hire an artist. Okay, all I need is 50 shots from you. So, it doesn't matter kung anong lente mo ano. So, doon papasok yung sinasabi ni Jonathan at saka ni Dennis Puntarinala.
Yeah, that doesn't.
It's not even necessary. It's not even necessarily that way. Kasi depende din eh. So with me, if I'm shooting the wedding, I like to shoot. Para bang filmmaking ba? You know, you're trying to tell a story. So, like in filmmaking, di ba? I mean, I'm not a filmmaker, but I watch a lot of movies. And I mean, there's so many ways you can tell the story and see kung ano nangyayari. So you don't always have to be shooting just in subject, di ba? So you have the couple. You have the couple there. You know na may mga guests. You know they have some other important people in their life. Get the other important people in their life in the background. Kahit ano man lang ba. So it's you're framing. You're telling a story that here's the main topic. Yung viewer titingin sa obviously the couple, the bride or the groom. But you could use so much. You have a space. You can use so much. You can tell so much, and you don't have to be just picking like one subject at a time. You can tell so much story, with the mood, the lighting, the positioning, and you just have to be quick. Kasi you're not directing. Hindi to film it. You're not directing. You're not telling them. So you have to. It helps if you're good at reading people. So if you can read people, yung body language, ganon, you'll get an idea of what key moments you should be anticipating where there's potentially there's some good opportunities for shots. So homework and knowing your subjects and knowing the situation always helps.
Right.
So,
pero yung sitwasyon, apply yun more more applicable sa sa mga pre-shoot, yung plan mo na. Kasi marami ako sinut na wedding noon, maraming depende sa church, maraming church depende sa pare, hindi ka ina-allow nilang. Let's say, you have to be about, 25 feet away.
Correct. That's true.
Yeah.
So, pag meron kang prime ng lens mo, guess what? Yung kakasal nandun sa tabi ng pare, how you gonna do it?
Yeah.
And they'll pay you for those shots, di ba?
Yeah.
So mahirap din. Kailangan talaga, ready ka.
I was gonna say, probably hindi ka pa hindi ka nag-shoot ng Indian wedding, Jonathan. Because
No.
lahat ng shots hahanapin. Bakit yung aso ko wala doon? Bakit yung baso wala doon? Hahanapin nila lahat yan after the wedding. So kailangan mo i-shoot lahat. So ang sinasabi ko kanina is merong mga maybe a certain percentage na ang gusto nila is art. They hired you for your vision. Kung ano mo i-produce mo retrato, they will pay you. But mainstream, karamihan ng mga wedding na shoot ko, you have to have full coverage. Kung hindi, hahanapin sa iyo yun. Yan ang pinakamahirap. Pag tapos na yung wedding, tapos nag-edit ka na, sabi, nasan yung tiya ko? Paano ngayon yung tiya niya? Right? So yun ang yun naman sa experience ko.
Yeah,
that's why I'm not a wedding photographer. Kayo.
Pag nag-shoot kami ng wedding noon, merong gumagawa ka ng listahan kasi ang kasama ko lang ng baka po si Angelo, kaming dalawa lang palagi, right?
Yeah.
So gumagawa ko ng listahan ng ang yung mahalaga, yung kissing ng bride groom, right? Para yung mga first dance sa tatay sa nanay. Yun mga kailangan, priority yun. Sa loob ng top 10 yun. Everything else, yung coverage ng sayawan ng mga tao, secondary na lang lahat yun. Pero yung mga
pamilya, importante. Pamilya. Pag may na-miss ka,
exactly.
Mahirap. Yeah.
Hindi na pwedeng ulitin yung kissing moment, first dance, hindi mo mapaparepeat yun eh. Yung moment na yun ang...
Yeah. So, Carlo, bago lang tayo tumuloy na bigla ko lang naisip, kasi meron tayong 8 nanonood. And kanina, nasa iPhone photography tayo. Gusto ko lang sana, kung sino yung nanonood, yung first good photo sa phone nyo, pakipost nyo nga sa comments, tingnan natin. At least magkaroon tayo ng audience engagement. So while they're doing that, Carlo, sino ba next nating guest? Ano ba ang natin?
Upcoming natin si Sean Armenta, November, kailan ba yan? 2 weeks? Next week, November 5. Si Sean, fashion photographer. Ano ba siya?
Canadian na rin yun,
Yeah, si Sean nga. Yan.
Canadian. Who's the last guest?
Last guest natin si Russell Brown.
Yeah.
Russell Brown siya si yung basically first evangelist ng Photoshop. Bali, sa kanya present ni Thomas Knoll and John Knoll ang Photoshop. And then he was the one who recommended to Adobe na kunin natin to at, merong potential to. And from there on, yan ang Photoshop.
Big time, Jonathan, big time yung si Russell Preston Brown na nag-guest natin last week. Unfortunately, hindi namin na-live kasi he had to go early with us.
Yeah.
Pre-tape pala.
Yeah, kasi remember that week
Adobe Max
may event sila eh. So diba, nagkakagulo sila doon sa lahat ng mga events, sa lahat ng mga speakers, there's hundreds of speakers. And nagulat nga rin ako na buti na pwede siya, na available siya for us. Which is really great dahil, di ba, parang with all this na nangyayari sa Adobe Max during that week, meron siya at least an hour for us.
Mabait. Humble. I-upload na lang natin, Carlo, para mawala yung 15 minutes black video sa harap. Para
sige, i-trim ko yung ano. And then yung nasa Pinoygraphers.com, rin yun eh, yung sa live. Naka-trim na yun eh. So
okay. Yeah.
Yun, naka-trim na yun ng ano yan. Pero yun nga, again, he touched on, since ngayong pandemic, di siya masyado nakapag-shoot. Ngayon, iPhone photographer siya. He declared himself as a photographer. Pero mostly, mobile phone photography.
Narinig mo yung Joey, tinanong ko sa kanya, ano ka ba, photographer or Photoshop? Sabi niya, today I'm declaring that I'm a photographer. Narinig mo yan? Right? So, sayang nga sana nandun ka eh. Kasi iPhone photography, sabi si Joey.
Hindi lang yun. Photographer siya, / editor, tsaka plus model na ngayon, di ba?
Model pa rin.
Parang ikaw, selfie, right?
Nakita niya ba yung mga ano niya? Hanapin nga yung mga...
Binibili niya yung mga props niya, pati yung jacket, di ba?
Yeah.
Ano siya eh. Saka on his site, meron din siyang mga tips and tricks.
Yeah.
Yung russellbrown.com, talagang puno ng puno ng Photoshop tricks, pati black and white. Kasi I don't know if you guys know Greg Gorman, gumawa siya ng sarili niya Greg Gorman curve for black and white. So if you apply his yung plugins, halfway through, kumbaga sa 50% of the job, okay na eh. Actually, minsan okay na yung as it is, yung curves na i-apply mo, printable na yan eh. Isa yun sa mga mga tinuturo niya at saka he can make plugins for you. Kasi sa site niya merong request page eh. Kung hindi mo alam ang specific thing or hindi mo ma-figure out kung paano, drop him a line, sasagutin niya at meron siyang suggestions kaagad. Mabait yun, saka talagang anything and everything about Photoshop, siya talaga ang
Saka magaling siya bro. Yung presentation niya magaling, down to earth, parang parang lang siya atin, di ba? So very informative lahat ng sinabi niya, man. Hanggan eh.
Yeah.
Saka ewan ko kasi dati kasi sa mga presentations, meron talaga siya mga presentations, so kailangan niya ibenta ang Photoshop eh. So hindi siya pumupunta doon na naka long sleeve na yung parang formal na formal. Darating yon minsan, alam ko meron siyang ginawang isang presentation. Itsura niya si Doc Brown ng Back to the Future. Yun talaga naka-costume. Di ba? Yung pagpasok niya nga naka-mask siya eh. Meron siyang mask na pandemic mask na talagang yung ginawa niya rin yun. Talagang siya, akwela siya.
Eccentric.
Doc Brown.
Yeah.
Hello. Mga bro, yung niya nga lang, no? Maganda yung ginagawa niya, pero yung style niya ng photography medyo too advanced yun sa mga regular members or viewers, no? Ang mag-focus din tayo more yung sa basic ng iPhone photography. You just going out, traveling na kasi sa kanya extreme na yun eh.
Kailangan mo strobe eh.
Yeah. For him, mga ginagawa niya, yung knowledge niya, yun na yung tayo na nakakaintindi ron. But yung regular viewers natin, users, or mga members, medyo advanced yan sa kanila eh. Kasi may ano na yan eh, yung lighting niyan, tignan mo, di ba?
Oh.
Ano na yan? So, pag inano natin yung sa iPhone photography, more like yung basic lang, yung going out sa family.
Natural.
Okay, yung iba-ibang perspective para pati kung paano gamitin yung settings ng iPhone, yung mga may settings diyan para may mga small tricks. Yung nila yon. Tsaka
if you get a phone na may manual mode, it helps. Ito, yung phone ko, Samsung, it has manual. I'm always using the manual mode. You know, hindi ko lang makontrol yung aperture.
Update ka ba sa Instagram, Jonathan? Can we see some of your Instagram?
Yeah, but my Instagram is mix of what do you call this?
Carlo, can you pull up?
Mga street photography plus I collect watches, so it's a mix of both.
Tingnan natin, Jonathan. Anong address mo sa Instagram?
So Instagram.com/J0, Jonathan P77. Pero yung O is a 0, yung J0NATHAN.
Ang hirap mo matandaan. Joey, ikaw,
you don't know how to spell?
meron ako pero wala pa ako masyadong nilalagay eh. Wadidi 2020.
Okay, sige, tingnan din natin.
Ang dami ko na
Pwede nyo, sure. Ang dami naman Jonathan Ponce dito.
Jonathan, pakitype mo sa chat, private chat yung address para ikakopy na lang ni Carlo.
Asan?
Si Joey Wadidi.
Ayan, Wadidi 2020.
Asan chat? Wala akong makita chat.
Meron dyan, private chat sa gilid.
Nasa right side.
Wadidi 2020. WADIDY 2020.
Ayun na po. Sandali lang. Ito na.
Isang tip, Jonathan, pag mag-create ng Instagram name, dapat madaling i-spell. Okay. Bago yung yung nasa first one sa left.
Lalagin pa ako. Hindi ako nakalagin. Sorry.
Hindi nakalagin. Ano ba ang password mo?
Hindi na. Makikita naman nila yan dyan eh.
Hindi ka maka-zoom in?
Hindi. Kaya I need to log in. Pero,
anong favorite mo sa anime ko?
Actually, Joey, kung mag-log in ka sa'yo, you can share the screen. Pero,
nasa phone ako, limitado.
Yeah.
I think, kung sa akin, it's not my internet. Probably easier.
Kita naman.
Kita naman. It's fine. Ayun, tinan mo yung nasa gitna na yan. Yung selfie lang yan, Joey, di ba? Yung nasa gilid ka ng bato.
Lahat ng shot yan, puro iPhone lang lahat yan. All of it.
And selfie.
Yes.
Yun ang matindi doon, yung selfie. Yung nasa gitna na yan. Paano mo ginawa yan? So, kung nilagay yung... sige, explain.
Explain.
Tripod bago remote.
So may tripod ka. Nagdadala kang tripod.
Yeah, tripod. Mini tripod na may remote.
Pero paano mo nako-compose? Paano mo nakikita kung ano itsura mo doon?
Pag
i-visualize mo?
ng tripod, siyempre i-vision ko yan. Tututo ko yung camera, ipapesto ko yung tripod. Tapos alam ko na kung saan ako papesto. Tatakbo ko doon.
Kailangan tumakbo o pwede maglakad lang?
Hindi pa. Di-remote naman eh. Pupunta ka sa pesto.
Kasi baka malaglag ka, dahan-dahan.
Trial and error. May mga 1 shot, 2 shot, 3 shot yung iba. Lacking 1 shot pa lang.
Ang ganda niyan. Nasa kaliwa, yung sa beach. Is that manual? Yung beach sunset?
Yes.
Manual yan?
Oo. Ito naman yung arch. Yeah, puro ano rin yan. Manual lahat yan.
Yeah, it's very good.
Maganda to. Itong nasa gitna. Itong iPhone ba gamit mo?
Puro iPhone niya.
iPhone lang lahat yan?
Yeah, iPhone lahat. Yung
iPhone's good for landscape. Puro sharp eh.
Saka ang wide eh. Ang ganda ng
Yeah, yun lang yung nakaganda iPhone 11, di ba? May wide na talaga. Ayan si Bong, kasama ko si Bong.
Anong Joey, anong ini-edit mo yan? Anong Instagram filter? Anong ginagawa mo?
Yung lang, yung edit comes with the phone ng iPhone. Yung edit features ng phone.
That's it?
That's it. Yeah.
Wow. Oh, to nasa sa Arizona ba yan yung kulay sa
Yung,
Donut?
yung mahalaga din yung di ba? Yung mga lighting, time of the day, part pa rin ng
Yeah.
Yun yung kailangan
The fundamentals talaga. That's the most important.
Yeah.
Ako naman, what I use is I use two basically. Kung if I need to be a little bit more intrusive, yung Snapseed. So I've been using it for years. Otherwise, may mga preset film simulation ginagamit ko from VS Cam. So those two. Yeah, I like those two. I tried others, pero like I said, kasi tabad ako eh. Like after I shoot, I really just want to adjust, yung white balance and some contrast, and that's it. Like after you get those two, if the lighting was good to begin with, wala na, there's not much to do after.
Yeah. Yun yung kailangan natin turo sa mga kasi yung mga tao hindi nila naintindihan yon. Minsan tatanong, bakit ang ganda nung kuha mo? Pag ako kumuha, hindi ganyan. Kasi basta tanongin ka, anong equipment gamit mo? O iPhone. Ang hindi kanila naintindihan kasi, yung mga lighting, number one, yung exposure, right?
Yeah.
Basta they'll just go out there,
And shoot.
they're expecting the same shot, yung kuha natin tayo naintindihan at yung ilaw.
Yeah.
So yung kailangan nating ipupush din sa kanila, right? Hey, the lighting, yung time of the day ko, kailangan mag-shoot yung best time.
Exactly.
Kung anong angulo, yun ang mga part na hindi pa nila naintindihan. In-expect nila, pag kinuna ng photographer coming from a phone, bakit sa kanila they're using the same phone, bakit hindi lumalabas the same thing? But not
I mean, I don't want to oversimplify it, pero if for the newer, less experienced mga beginners, usually what I recommend is because may sumasama sa akin, like I'm walking around, and then I look somewhere. Tapos tinatanong nila, how am I looking at that scene? In-explain ko sa nila, like ngayon, like with our real eyes, visual sight, we see a lot because our brain processes a lot of information. Pero I filter that down. I dilute that to only two things. Mainly, how much dark area and bright area I want to capture, and then the rest, shapes, colors, ganon. That's how my composition works. Ganon lang. Everything else you tune out. So I'm always looking at the scene. So
mahanap ka ng foundation.
You distill it to those three. How much? Kasi yung brain natin, that's how our brain works. We recognize dark and light, shapes, then colors. So most likely in that order.
Ako, I recognize curves.
Yeah, but those are shapes. Yeah, so those are shapes.
I know, right? Carlo, mabibring up po ba yung ni Jonathan? Yung kanyang Insta or Flickr?
I think probably it's probably easier to pull the
Flickr?
Yung Flickr one kasi may selection dun, so I haven't updated as much, pero it has some random selection there.
Buhay pa yung Flickr? They still alive?
Alam mo ba nakakatawa, Joey? Alam mo nakakatawa, Joey? Is yung kay Manny Librodo, nung tumiting kami na P-base.
P-base. Ako may
P-base.
Yeah.
Yan matindi, may P-base pa. Doon ko nakilala yun sa P-base, tsaka ikaw eh.
Pero alam mo, lahat ng photos ko ron nawala. They deleted it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Nawala. Inahanap ko, nawala lahat.
Hey, you ignored their email.
Meron silang time na pag hindi ka active, they'll delete.
Malamang wala na rin ako. Hindi ko na rin.
Jonathan, is this, yung ito pala eh. Kanino to? Ayan, 77. Okay, I got it.
Yung Flickr ba yun? Nasa private chat eh.
Yeah, I just put some, yung mahaba na link. So,
na to, Jonathan eh.
No, go to the
Sandali.
album.
I gotta get a... Where is that?
Joey, while pinupull up ni Jonathan yon, ito tanong ko sa iyo. Kasi nangyari sa
put the link.
meron akong sinushoot dati sa California. Modela, bata siya noon, parang college. So sexy. So pinost ko sa mga public, it's public, right? Tapos nung nandito na ako sa Canada, nag-message siya, pwede mo bang ibaba yung mga litrato mo? Kasi nasa medical field na ako ngayon, I'm taking my doctorate, blah, 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 blah. So, siyempre nasa worldwide internet na yon. Nangyari na sa iyo yan, anong ginagawa mo pag gagawin?
Meron, pero wala silang pwedeng gawin. Dahil yung tayo laging nun eh.
may model release.
Yeah.
Hindi, tayo, we own the photos.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other way around. Kasi sila nga, di ba, pag they wanna publish yun o ipiprint nila, kailangan yung signature natin yung go natin. But it's
Yeah.
not the other way around.
But what if we lost the model release form? Anong gagawin mo?
It doesn't matter. You still shot the pictures. That's yours.
Na-sign up mo eh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still yours.
Yeah, that's yours. Anything galing sa camera mo is yours.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they cannot say, oh, don't publish that?
Ano, hindi. Wala kayong pinirmahan na hearts telling that from the get-go.
They can request.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's what you did.
Man.
Right? That's what you did.
Pag they request, I think it's a verbal agreement yun na if you want to do it or not. Kasi
Personal
pag walang request, I think,
pag nag-request
sa'yo yun.
ka, personal na lang na sa'yo pa rin yun. Siyempre, tayo din, may pride tayo sa work natin. Kung nagustuhan mo yung shot na yun, pampano rin sa portfolio mo, why? Diba? Sa'yo yun, that's yours. Pero bigyan natin sila ng selective picture na yung kanila, na what they can use for their use, and then hindi nila pwedeng sabihin sa atin na
Baba mo yan.
ng what you can use, hello?
I
mean, yung pictures na yun, ikaw na yung owner nun eh.
Yeah. I'm more concerned yung pag nasa kasi I wanted to take it down. Kasi gusto ko siya matulungan eh. Pero ang concern ko is nakalaya na sa labas yun eh. Hindi ko na control eh. Kumbaga.
Oh yeah, that's true. Pag gano'n na, if it's out there, wala na eh.
Yeah, wala na.
You can't undo it.
Yeah, anything that goes out sa internet, nobody control it. Kahit celebrity, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Unless you have a time machine. Yeah.
Anyway, tingnan na natin ang work ni Jonathan's.
May
so...
May tanong, hold on.
Oh.
Sabi, how about portrait? Portrait ng iPhone photography or yun ang ano eh? Yun ang hindi ko alam kung ano ang question. Baka gusto niyang baka paano niya how do you do portraits in using an iPhone?
Tama mo, parang Joe, pakiclarify mo yung question mo.
Yes. Yeah. It's fine. Okay.
May isa pa. Ito. Si Roxy. What do you do with photos that get regraphed? Oh. Yeah. Magandang question yan. Kung nireuse nila or finorward nila uli without your permission.
Yeah.
I think minsan kasi 'di ba merong such a thing as fair use.
Correct.
Yeah, kapag meron kang hindi mo naman na sinabi at hindi mo naman parang sa YouTube, 'di ba? Parang yung mga music tags nila doon.
Yeah.
Ngayon if they tag you na okay, this is copyrighted, I guess, you have either 2 choices or 3 choices basically. Take it down, palitan mo yung music mo or don't use any music of theirs entirely or, pay them. Pero ngayon I think it's more about yun nga eh, kung ginamit nila, it's our responsibility to inform kung sino may nagsabi na hey, I don't think you can use it or, meron ba tayong magagawa or meron akong kailangan sa inyo rin, di ba? So, if not, take it down.
Well, for iba kasi yung Instagram, di ba? Instagram is different.
Instagram, it is totally different naman yan. Kasi
Instagram is a sharing community,
right,
which specifically provides ability to repost, regram
right,
other. That's Roxy's question, di ba? So, and I've had that happen to me, quite a few times. But they've always asked. They've always asked, so hey, can we repost this photo, with credit, So they always do that. So I've never really had, issues of anybody, stealing or reposting it and claiming it to be their own. I think maybe a couple of times, pero these were small accounts. They wala naman sila na eh. They really don't have much reach. So I'm not really as much concerned. The bigger established companies. So if there's so like I said, I collect watches. So I take photos and post them on my Instagram. So some of these watch companies, they will contact and say, "Oh, we like it. Can we repost?" That's it. But it's like Twitter, Instagram. So they just want to repost, and they say, "Oh, this is a photo by Jonathan."
Pero May credit naman.
Yeah,
So
with credit.
it's
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's credit. So I think that's usually that's what they do. And actually, especially early in my collecting years ago, I think about 5 years ago, ganun, smaller watch companies, not the big ones, obviously not Rolex, so none of the big companies that they have big budgets in marketing. Smaller independent, watch companies would actually send me, free watches.
Watch.
So I just post.
Yeah.
So I get a feel like they're nothing new. They're not expensive. These are the more NP level mechanical watches. But it was still free. So I would take a few shots and then just post it. Ganun lang. But ngayon everybody's doing it. So I know people now, they actually actively solicit mga companies to go, hey, sure, para bang they're selling themselves as an influencer. I never did. So I don't want to be. Like I said, photography to me is a creative outlet. So I don't have to answer to clients. I'm not trying to meet specific requirements. So purely all based on, when I want to shoot and what I want to shoot. So it's my creative outlet. So to help me, just be sane. So hobby. If I make it into a revenue generating another thing, a living, then obviously I have to take it. I have to take into consideration, mga requirements. When I see what the customers need, then I won't have as much. I have to find another outlet.
Pag may kliyente na, there's this. Parang
agreements. There's an expectation on the output on your product, diba? And your services. So that's a contract. So and that becomes obviously, and I'm pretty sure you all agree now. Once you do that, pretty much majority of your time will be on the administration, the operation of that business running. Yung shooting mo, is not going to be much, and you may not even have the freedom to even experiment as much, diba? Kasi there's an expectation that this is you produce it this way, so they're giving you a list, and you obviously have to maybe compromise is the wrong word, pero give concessions as to, okay, we'll do it this way and we'll do that. So that's what they like, and and customers always right, ganun ba?
Right.
And you're trying to meet their requirements, their needs, diba? So so that's why I never really got into to consider making.
Parang vicious cycle lang photography eh. Kasi una hobby lang muna, right? Tapos gusto mo makakuha ng mas maganda equipment. So, bibili kang maganda equipment. Para mabayaran mo equipment mo, magtatrabaho ka. Tapos ganun, bili ka. Tapos pag ganun ka, palubog ka ng palubog eh. Yan ang nangyayari.
Tingnan natin yung
Okay.
Yeah. So this has mix of photos na I took with, phone and just over the years. So I think I haven't this updated in probably a year. So some of these shots are, a lot of it, I say Instagram.
Ooh, nice.
Actually, all these shots are usually Instagram. So I thought this one was just shot that I did with that one definitely a phone. Hawak ko lang yung phone. I just shot the phone and point, to the watch. So besides, if you get, you get good lighting, you find places with good lighting, and you just, shoot. And sometimes I do my own, like, I just tell my whoever's with me, can you point it this way and then count to 3 and press. I give them instructions. Para bang human remote. Human remote control.
This one is
hold it there, frame it there, and count to 3 and press. That's it. So human remote control.
Ito phone to?
That's a phone, yeah. That was my phone.
Okay.
So I gave that to my brother across the street. Sabi sa kanya, hold it here, frame it here. I told him exactly the framing. So just watch those 2 lines, ganun lang, hawak siya. And then just said, sabi niya, count out loud 1, 2, 3. Press the shutter on 3. So I time it, and because it's my phone, I know yung timing. That when he press on 3, there's a bit of a delay, like a split-second delay, diba? So I just knew that, okay, once he counts on 3, I just know how to position so that that thing is sort of in the air. So you can, doesn't have to be an actual remote control. You can use a human remote.
Right.
Human tripod pa.
Right. Maganda sanang gamitin ng tao, pero alam mong depende rin sa tao. I mean, marami ako nakasamang I do the same thing. No? Laging nakaprint talaga. kasama na yung ano mo, everything. Pe-press na lang yung
Yeah.
ano, yung button, hindi yung timer
Yeah.
be at. Bago kahit yung rule of third na ano, in-on ko na sa phone.
Yeah.
Pero guess what? Yung shots nila, hindi, most of the time ay lumabas yung gusto mo yung nabivision mo kasi because they're ambition. Pero unless na yung lucky ka, yung brother mo, I'm sure may mata rin siya. Pareho, you're on the same page na itindihan kanya yung perspective mo.
I taught him.
No,
I taught him what to look out for. Then we go here. Like watch this window, that frame. Just keep it there. Don't worry about. Don't look at me, the subject. Just I tell them. I instruct them to focus on the composition, the framing. Right. Don't worry about the subject. I'm pointing in here, so they go keep that door on this side. Keep these whatever object in this side. Where it is on the frame, and then that's it. Don't worry about anything else. So once you do that, then you capture it. The same thing, diba? There's a lot of professionals now, even fashion photographers that they have assistants, that set up everything. Like lahat, all the settings, the lighting, the camera setting, and then they just show up. Oh, how about si Joey, ganun yan. Meron siyang assistant, diba?
No, selfie ngayon kanya eh.
Selfie.
Selfie. Very impressive. Yeah.
So yeah, you'll see me shoot a lot of black and white, street. So that's more of my thing. Kasi I'm walking to work, walking home, and I see things. So I like the light. Then I'll shoot. I think one of my more favorite ones is actually, where are you? Above. Oh yeah. No, further down. I think there's one there.
Meron ako niyan.
I know.
After that one.
That's a good one.
This is one of my favorite ones. I was just on the way to work, and then I just like the light, and then I
maganda. Yeah.
This one is
this one.
After work.
This is a phone shot.
Yeah. So you just, this one I had to time kasi it's para bang tawag nila, multiple target acquisition. You use situational awareness. So, ang dami mga taong lalakad. So, I'm already like in my head, it's calculating, okay, yung tao na yan, they're all walking around this race, so around by mga, about 30 seconds.
Hindi mo generate ka.
Ganun eh. Ganun ko eh. So this, I already saw this happening while, I'm going crowd, these two groups of people that are walking, and the other guy that was coming around the corner. So they go, if they keep at that constant rate, they should be in this position around this time.
Even the two guys on the right.
May math? Oh no.
Yeah. You just your
calculation. Pero even the two guys on the right, parang ang galing nila, nandun sila.
Sakto.
Yeah.
That one I wasn't worried about that because they were behind. They were still like further out. Pero that was a compromise that I was willing to make. So, okay, that's fine. Pero my focus.
I think they're good that they're there. Imagine mo kung wala yung dalawa na yun doon, magmumukhang
empty.
Oo, empty doon. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's kind of how I shoot. Like it's my first thing I'm looking for is lighting. Kung asan yung magandang lighting. And then the next part is like, well, within the next minute or so, is there a possibility na may, some good human elements that could add, something to the scene. So, ganon. Kung wala. I move on. I'm just walking home anyway, or walking to work.
It's good.
It's not a scheduled shoot.
Para ka pa lang siya.
Random. Talaga random facts. Random photography. I just walking. So that's kind of how I shoot. So kung ano mo makita, whatever catches my eye, and then I'll take a photo of that. So there's no theme, no story, nor nothing. I leave it to the whoever's looking at it to see. Whatever they like it, they like it. Ayaw. So that's my style. And Fred, Fred, me, ganun ang style ko, di ba?
Yeah, but kahit sinasabi, meron pa rin general look yung shots mo eh.
Yeah.
Sa'yo to eh. Parang ganun eh.
Yeah. So
maganda siya.
People come to expect what they tend to see. But I don't go Like if I'm not out there looking for something very specific, okay, I'm trying to look for this subject or this building or ano man, I just really wander around, and then if something catches my eye, or if there's a scene happening, a moment now, let's capture this, then I'll capture it. Some of these things I had to do my own. So sometimes this one that you're just scrolling up. This is if you scroll further down, so that one, that shot. I did this because there was a challenge, a team that said, hey, do something very like Inception, featuring your watch, So people did it. So I went this. So I did a shot where I pretended to be that's a hallway, like the movie Inception. Yeah.
This is not a phone though. Is this a phone still?
Oh, this one I couldn't do it with the phone kasi,
Okay.
Well, I didn't have a phone for tripod, so I use a tripod and a camera, and then I put a timer on, and then I just position myself in the air when the time came. But again, it helps if like anything else, know your tools, diba? So if you know your lenses, the field of view, you can do a lot of things by yourself. You could. Most of the time when I take shots, I actually don't even look at the viewfinder. Kasi alam ko yung field of view Alam ko yung field of view of the camera. So I know that I'm going to get this. From this distance, that distance, this is what I'm going to get, Wow. So if you get familiarized with your focal length of your lenses and tools, you can concentrate more on the creative part, on the creative process, like what you want to see and stuff. So you all the settings, aperture, shutter speed, that becomes reflex.
Carlo, maximize mo nga yung lightning sa CN Tower. This one, hindi ka nakatingin sa viewfinder, mabubulag ka dyan. Yung may kidlat.
Okay, so this one, I'll tell you the story of this. This is my first ever lightning na I took. So this was, I think, I don't remember how long ago, pero so yung condo ko, balcony ko, it faces this view, yung skyline. So it was a night, summer na ang dami talagang lightning. So I'm watching the CN Tower. It was getting hit by lightning. Talaga ang dami. Like within like like a 5 minutes, palang tinatamaan. So I started looking. Okay, asan yung So I insist, asan yung lightning? Titingnan ko. So I started looking at the sky. Saan nanggagaling ganon? Because I don't know how to shoot lightning. So when I saw this, to me light, ang isip ko sa akin, it's like a strobe flash. So chachampahin ko lang to. Pero how do you chamba yan? Diba? Kasi you can't react. If you wait for it to hit, di syempre, delay.
Gone.
Diba? So I started looking at the clouds, the system, and see where the currents, where the electricity current was coming from. So I could see it traveling. Parang when you like. So I just started timing it in my head, like 1,000, 2,000. Okay, there's around 2 seconds. So I just waited for that one spot. Bigla ko nakita. Alam ko na pupunta tatamahan yung Then I just timed it, and that's how it's shot. Kaya nakita mo, the clouds are not they're frozen, as opposed to what I found out after. How you're supposed to shoot lightning is long exposure. Open it for 30 seconds.
Talagang timing to.
Top down, ganun ba? Bulb, whatever it is. I didn't know that. So, I just wanted to shoot right away. So yeah, I just shot it. Chinamban ko lang. I just happened to get it.
Not with a phone.
No, now with the phone. This was what this one, because the delay of the phone, I didn't want to rely on it. So besides nighttime, I think at that time the phone cameras, yung night
won't focus.
ISO and sensitivity wasn't that good. So it's not like now. So I think this was like probably like 5, maybe more than 5 years ago. So I actually used yung Fuji X100S ko. So you just shoot it that way. It's either that or DSLR. I can't even know. But yeah, ganun lang yun. That's my story. Like I like these kind of shots that I necessarily didn't plan.
Yeah.
Like something that I just happened to catch, or you catch something that you didn't know that was in the frame. It's always a lot of fun, So otherwise, if it's like a film where you're producing, you're directing everything, you have control over everything. Those are good too, But I actually get more joy when I'm capturing things na, I didn't set up. I had no control over.
Jonathan, hindi mo sinensa yan, local news dyan sa area nyo?
Oh yeah, it was used.
US, there you go.
Yeah, they use it. So a few publications and stuff, ask me to use it. So yeah, that's fine. Go ahead.
Mhm. That's good. Yan, galing mga PG, iba-ibang klase natin photography. Pero alam mo, Joey, kilala mo si Randy Cruz?
Saan familiar yung
Oo, taga-Canada yun dati, kasamahan namin dito. Lumipat na siya sa Florida. Pero ang naging nun ngayon, focus nun si bird photography.
Oh, okay.
Ito
That's
nag-make yun, hours.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Tatago,
Yeah.
camouflage para makakuha ng mga ibon, iba-ibang klaseng ibon.
Mhm.
I-guess natin siya sa December, pero kaya ko naman nabanggit yun, is nakakatuwa na Pinoygraphers, very wide range yung ating
So mga
content.
puro 400 to 600 millimeter.
Siguro, pakita niya yung gearless niya kung ano mga ginagamit niya and what to do. Kasi syempre mga iba-ibang sikreto yan kasi minsan pumupunta pa yung iba, mga South America. It's a thing we probably don't know it, but it's a thing. Yung tawag nila birding.
Yeah.
Pero kumbaga,
documentary ng National Geographic, yung ganon. Nag-stay sa field ng overnight. Sa mud. I mean, without moving.
Again, you have to have information. You have to know your subject, your patterns, ganon. So that's how you shoot, right? So if you shoot for National Geographic, you better know what you're shooting. Timing, migration patterns, anything. That will be fine. Because you're trying to shoot some sort of an animal, and you're trying to go during their migration, pero you're at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Wrong place, wrong time.
Or
right place, wrong time.
Meron kaming na-interview before. I don't know if you guys know him, si Paul Nicklin. Ano rin siya Ganun din extreme exposure, extreme photographer siya. Nasa Alaska siya lagi or yung migration ng polar bears or yung mga walruses and seals. Nasa snow siya, nakahiga siya doon for weeks and weeks at a time just to get one shot.
Yeah.
Ganun
You need funding.
Yeah,
there's a lot of things. Believe me, there's a lot of things all over the world I want to shoot, but you need funding. Unless you're backed by some agency that will fund you on your project, you have to do it on your own, which you can. Kung may pera, not all of us na mayaman tulad nila.
Naalala niyo yung commercial dati, yung photographer inaantay niya yung panda lumabas sa zoo. Tapos, ang tagal-tagal niya nag-aantay. Tapos, nung tumalikod siya, tapos nag-break siya, saka naglabasan yung panda. Commercial na yun.
Ganun ako.
Ganun, di ba? So, anyway.
Babalik tayo sa mga yung mga varied Pinoygraphers natin. Diba, Joey, meron din tayong isang, imbitahan din, drone photographer.
Yun, na maganda. Yan. Yung
Meron din tayo din.
Marami taong naka-drone ngayon na doesn't know anything about drone. So
So pumunta ako so I was before COVID lockdown. Nandun ako sa Pilipinas. I was in the Philippines island hopping in January. So dala ko, I had a GoPro, I had drone. So I was taking a lot of shots. So everywhere I went, kung anong island, ang inisip ng mga tao, they always thought that I was either travel blogger or location scout. Movie location scout. Kasi dala ako lang mag-isa Dala ko, I have my gear. My peak design bag, tapos may drone ako, and then I took some shots. So I actually posted it. You'll see it on Instagram. Pero I took some shots there sa Coron. Sa Romblon. Romblon is a really nice place. So that was my last stop toward the end of January. Before before the lockdown. At that time, it was already starting. Already starting happening. You could hear it in the news. Pero I did shoot. Did some drone shots. So you meet a lot of people too, and it's good. Kung ikaw lang, my strategy was kung saan ako pumunta. You have to find a fixer, somebody that can help you get around. So sa Romblon, ang hirap ng sa Romblon, no? Romblon doesn't have So there's 3 islands, and getting from one island to the next island, may ferry every day, 8 o'clock in the morning, So mahirap. So it's like trying to find, and I'm trying to find to go to the farthest island, sandbank. And logistically, sabi ko, baka I won't be able to make it. Pero I found a guy who I said, you know what, hinanapan niya ako ng bangka. So 4 o'clock in the morning. 4 o'clock in the morning, sabi niya, okay, we'll go here 4 o'clock in the morning. We hired a boat, the boat, because I'm the only one. Pagpunta ko doon, so ako, yung guide ko, saka yung obviously yung boat captain. Kasi dami mga iba tao. So ngayon pala naghihintay sila kasi they wanna catch a ride, they wanna hitch a ride to the island. Sabi ko, sige, ako lang naman mag-isa. Kasama ko yun. So 4 o'clock in the morning, in the middle of the crossing to go to from Romblon Island to Sibuyan Island. So ang dilim. Pero obviously at night, walang ilaw, your eyes adjust. So it was very peaceful. And actually it's a lot of fun. So you meet a lot of people, a lot of tourists. The sandbank island that I ended up with, Cresta de Gallo, yun ang tawag. That's the island, Cresta de Gallo. Ako, when I got there, it was only me, a couple from Spain, and then 3 friends from Spain. So that's it. Kami on the whole island. Well, the island's not that big, 2-3 kilometers long, but it's a very nice island. So it's a lot of fun. And then had to come back kasi work, and COVID shut down, and that was it.
Yeah. Ano yung mga restrictions sa drone doon sa Pilipinas?
Wala. I mean, obviously, like anything else, pag wala ka outside ka sa city, I don't, there's really no restrictions unless the owner or kung sino man, they might have something. When I was in Coron, I was trying to, Barracuda Lake. So puro cliffs yun. So doon, it's run by a tribe. So they're the ones who run the, yung tourist spot, access to Barracuda. Barracuda Lake is huge. For one section of it, you can visit and you can go to run by the thing. So sabi nila, a lot of people use drones. Pero I was looking at that. Sabi ko, mapamawala ng signal. So I had to, you have to pick the right spot, how high, and you have to, keep the line of sight. But that's how I fly my drone. I like to fly by sight instead of relying on the GPS. Kasi pag mawala, hindi ko na makita. I like to know where it is. So I fly it like as if parang tagang remote control. I'm looking at it and I'm controlling it, So, but it's a lot of fun. Like I have the cheapest drone, like yung lowest entry level ng Mavic. But like anything else, like video or photography, shooting filters help. So obviously I had to may mga filters ako, ND filters, so obviously to help with the light control and shoot at lower shutter speed, lower frame rates, ganon. So so I had filters, I had polarizers, and I'm using them. And do the same thing for the GoPro. My GoPro ako, I'm going underwater, I have to put filters. If I'm going underwater, when I started swimming with the mga sardines, or you go underwater, you need a red filter.
Yeah.
You say that,
para magmukhang 555 sardines. Para rin.
So,
Andali lang, may nagtatanong sa ating audience yung sabi, do you have to be a pro to join? So I think what he's asking is, do you have to be a pro to join PG? If that's the question, no. Yeah. You don't have to be a pro. You can be an absolute beginner, which kami used
what is a pro anyways?
Yeah, so what's pro? What's pro is, are you getting paid? So if that is the question, no. Joe, everyone is welcome to join. So I'm sorry, sinasagot ko lang yung tanong.
Oh, that's good. Any other questions?
Yeah. Actually, there's a couple more.
Sabi, sa mga may siya doon. Yan.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yun sa episode natin ng mga drones. Yeah, Jonathan, you're more than welcome to be a part of that. Yeah, para kasi, the more people we have.
I mean, there must be some others, PG, that I'm assuming, have started using drones.
Pero yung Mall of Asia, masyadong malapit sa airport yun eh. Alam ko at least minimum 5 to 10 miles away from the airport, bawal. Hindi pa drone mo.
Dito, kahit dito.
Yung the drone itself, the app, when you're controlling it, it'll tell you,
Right.
it'll tell you if you're allowed or not, or if there's GPS signal. Kasi kailangan it needs at least like 6 GPS signals if my memory serves me right, para ba, accurate. So there was actually one time sa Cebu, I was in the city, and where we were staying, para bang, they had this place na, it was like yung area na Mall of Asia, by the waterfront, ganon, may mga restaurants, may mga store, ganon. So they had an event, kasi sinulog time. So they had an event, so they were doing fireworks. So we go, oh, I'm there, I'm close by. So this was at night. So we go, hey, I'll fly my drone. Paglabas ko, I flew the drone. Tingin sa taas, ang daming drones.
Walang restrictions.
Traffic, yeah, ang daming drones. So, but some of them obviously are doing it for things. So I had to stay away kasi, first of all, if they're there for official, from official designation, because they have to take those footage, you don't want to get in their way. Professional courtesy, of course. Oh, I'm just, I'm just a visitor. I just happen to be in the area. And besides, I could tell the drones, ang laki eh. yung drone ko, ganito lang kaliit. My drone, the smallest one, Mavic Mini, that's why they call it Mini. It's like under 250 grams. So it's actually, like the lightest. So isang lang. But it's very convenient. You just hold it, lagay mo sa pocket, go out and fly.
Yeah.
I highly recommend it. Like, even just fun.
I think mas less yung restriction sa Pilipinas kumpara dito, mas mahigpit sila dito kasi area rito na hindi ka mapalipad yung drone. I mean literally hindi lilipad yung drone.
Correct.
Malapit ka
Shut down.
naka-lockdown yung
Yung condo ko, yung condo ko is there's the Island Airport, Toronto Island Airport. I can see it. Hindi ko pwede. I can't fly.
Meron mga area kung naman, may mga warning ako nakukuhang restrictive bagong kailangan mo para kang may consent.
Yeah.
Papadalaan ka ng code and then pag in-input mo yung code na yun, if you messed up, pag
kilala ka.
Ikaw ang at fault, right? Ikaw ang mananagot. Kasi pinalipad ko yung drone sa sa mga windmill dito, Red.
Yeah.
So ngayon, binardingan ako doon, pero sabi sa akin, sige, bibigyan ka ng code, pero naka-record yung
May identity ka. May identity.
Depends condo yun.
Yeah.
So,
nila yung may access sila sa sa cloud ng mo.
Yeah.
Yung drone mo.
Yeah.
Right. So, pinalipad ko pa rin, pero kung nasira ko yung isang windmill doon,
Nabayaran.
ikaw yan.
Binenta ko yung GoPro ko na drone kasi wala akong mapagpalipadan dito. You have to drive 2 hours. So binenta ko na.
May kaibigan ako. I have a friend here na he actually he has a company. So I don't know, Red, if you've ever heard Top Drone. So Top Drone company. So he set it up, him and a few other guys. So they get all the gigs. So they get all the gigs from survey. So they get all the license, so they have all the paperwork. You have to take the lessons, courses for aviation. These are aviation license courses. So you have to be aware.
May nagkwento sa akin, to get that license, para ka na rin naging piloto Kailangan mo yung mga codes,
You have to know, it's VFR, visual flight rules, IFR.
Yeah.
So all
very restrictive.
It's very restricted, pero that's why they get, so
magagaling sila yung natitira.
They get the contracts to do a lot of aerial drone shots. All over the province.
Yeah,
and I think they're expanding. So they had a good shot last year sa Raptors parade. They were the only ones who were allowed to take aerial footage.
Yeah. Pero ako ini-enforce na nila yun 5 to 10 years down the road, lahat ng drone kailangan na talaga ng may license ka sa FAA.
Yeah, he asked me to join them, So, but I have to do all those courses. I don't have time right now.
Para ka magiging realtor nun, ang daming pag-aaralan.
Yeah.
Bumili ka na lang sa stock footage.
Dito, meron ako mga nakitang rito, mga droners dito na ganito ginagawa nila, okay? Yung mga FAA pala, meron silang department, meron silang separate agent. Nagpupunta sila sa YouTube, winawatch ng droners.
Yep.
Mo pala yung hindi mo sinunod yung regulation? Kasi maraming hindi nagpa-follow
Correct.
Tinatawagan kanila diretso. They'll call you sa bahay mo.
Yeah.
Then, iano kanila.
Federal case.
May fine.
Right, may fine, iimbestigahan ka. Bago agent tatawag sa'yo, like merong parang 3 interview gagawin sa'yo. Marami
That's why, I don't understand why they do that. You have to mga iba na nag-drone shots, and then they go post it, online.
Right.
So parang you have some stupid criminals that they post the video of their crime online. So Facebook.
Yeah.
I mean, why are you doing that? Tulad ng di ba Red, di ba? I don't know if you know, but there's a lot of shots from Toronto skyscrapers from the top. Mga bird's eye view.
Yeah.
So those guys that started that back when we were mga early, almost 10 years ago. So the guys that started that, they asked me to join them, but it required being in these private properties, buildings on the rooftop illegally. I don't want. It's a hobby. I don't want to be like. It's not that I'm afraid of heights or whatever. It's just that I don't want to have to worry about these mga legal problems.
Yeah.
But it's fun. There's a lot of this. If you think about it, a lot of us photographers, especially there's a lot of shots that I would like to take. So some composition and some perspective that I want to take, or some place or some. Pero it's always a matter of access. It's not what your vision. I think it's just how do you get access, or how do you get to that place, or how do you get to the right time. That's always the challenge, right? You have a vision. You know what you want to take. What the image should look like, the final one. But the logistics of it is always the tough part. Logistics.
Yeah. No, totally. Yeah.
Wala ng questions.
Mahina ka, Carlo, ha?
Carlo, yung mic.
I don't know what's happening.
You're covering your mic.
No, maybe my microphone is probably dying.
Oh, dying.
Si guys pala, habang inanap ni Carlo si Ronsky, ibalik natin. Ibalik natin si Ronsky kasi yung sa mga droners, malaking yung post-process eh.
Yeah.
Yun yung maraming nagda-drone ng like ako, myself, no? Ang dami ko ng footage ng drone, naka-stack sa sa computer ko kasi ngayon pa lang natututo mag-edit ng videos kasi hindi naman ako videographer, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, literally, inupuan ko yung ngayon, yung Adobe Premiere.
Yeah.
So, yun yung at least yung mga basic na yung may mga makakashare sa mga, again, maraming droners ngayon, ang dami. Kasi na yung drone, may mini pa, hindi na kailangan parehistro. So, maraming bumibili ng drone talaga ngayon.
Yeah.
But like anything else, like any visual art, if you have to have a good idea of the final output, the final product, na you want. You could. It's expensive na yung para bang spray and pray. Kasi if you know if you're very specific or kung alam ko what the final output is, it makes it a lot easier in your workflow. You don't have to review hours and hours of footage.
Yeah. Maybe yun ang maganda natin ituro.
Yeah.
Kasi skill yan eh. Paano mag-pre-planning, paano yung dinidescribe ni Jonathan, paano yan magagawa ng iba. Kasi nga, sabi mo, expensive, no? Dahil pag mas marami kang footage, mas marami kang oras na gagugulin para you go through everything. Plus yung shooting. Plus yung space, computer, hard drives, although hindi na ganun yan. But those are things that we wanna show. And Joe, ito sa sinasabi mo kanina, yung i-structure na rin natin yung show natin na may mga segments. Actually, si Carlo pa lang ibig sabihin, na merong itong show, let's say it's an hour show, may 15 minutes na magpapakita tayo ng either like a tutorial or like a gear review in between, nasa gitna o nasa dulo. Para ang show natin sa nakakapagturo.
Kunyari.
Mahina ka talaga, Carlo.
Mahina talaga ako.
Yung boses.
No, but you could ask, you could solicit for questions for the next show.
Yeah, we asked that. Yeah.
Oh, you do? Okay, good.
Yeah. And Ian, how about that? How about now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Better.
Okay.
Yeah. Parang kung fu.
Kunyari, like sa drone, sa segment natin, we, a little bit about, kung paano siya, ano yung mga kailangan mo, what are the components that's there, parang, walk through ng isang piece of gear that you would use for a shoot. Like, kunyari, Joey, gusto mo matuto ng Premiere, yan. Kung meron tayong mga editors out there, di ba? Parang pwedeng imbitahin din on how to, kasi, syempre, all this footage, all this material na meron tayo, whether it's coming from your, like, ang daming file formats kasi, di ba? Meron ka JPEG, meron kang HVEC, meron ka nung yung high efficiency file ng iPhone, di ba? Mga HDR files, tapos sa drone files, MP4s, H.264s, MOVs, lahat yan, it's all media na kailangan mong i-manage down the line. And so as we go through, again, nakakaisang buwan na tayo. We've got we're 5 episodes down. Yeah. Baby ba tayo? At marami pang mga marami pa tayong masasali at maipapasok na more informational bukod doon sa mga taong mga iniimbitahan natin to talk and speak and share their experiences and workflows basically sa mga viewers natin. Kasi again, PG, di ba? Ang Pinoygraphers Red Joey, ang ano nyo is the core is information and learning. Yeah. So we will definitely go there and magkakaroon tayo ng marami pang mga information. Marami rin nagtatanong about Photoshop tutorials like last week. Again, we encourage everybody kung yung mga nanonood, sa mga comments and kung anong gusto niyo topic.
Yung gagawin natin, Carlo, is more like specific. Kasi really, those things, to be honest, nasa YouTube naman lahat yan.
Right.
Ang ano lang natin is, paano natin maite-tailor itong ating content para sa audience natin, which is mga Filipino.
Right.
Pinographers. So, ang gagawin natin is more of like specific things. Let's say, sinasabi ni Joy, balik si Ronsky, specific. Ronsky, mag-workflow tayo, drone footage ni Joey, paano natin yan i-export ready to specific.
Paano niya gagawin?
Not like
no. Yeah. Kasi syempre kung yung mga kilala natin kasi how we can actually use all this stuff na information na yan based on ano alam natin at ano mga workflow natin. Kasi syempre, not everybody has our tools. Yeah. Not everyone has pare-parehong gamit, pare-parehong machines, at pare-parehong Kumbaga we need to be more not really generic. Yeah.
Kumbaga lahat tayo, may experience na tayo, may kanya-kanyang way na tayo to do things, may nalalaman din tayo, but at least naririnig natin yung ibang tao na doing thing na nasi-share natin yung mga ginagawa natin, pwede natin combine lahat yun as one para lalong bumilis yung process para sa lahat.
Yeah.
Diba?
Well, if you think about it too, everybody's workflows, they all, like you said, iba-iba. Everybody's got their own ways of doing things, pero there's some core critical activities or stages in the workflow that are similar to all. You might just use different tools or different steps for each of these stages, pero they always have the same purpose, So, I'm reviewing, right now, so maybe in workflow nila, first stage, let's just review, just raw, not just, high level, parsing, of the mga files, the mga images, ganon. So there's always different purposes, different parts of the stages of the workflow, and everybody does it a different way. They use different tools. So, but Red is right. Ang dami dyan sa YouTube. You can find a lot of things online on the very specific how to do something. But you want to explain why you would pick one method over another method, So it's like knowing a lot of formulas, but you have to know which formula to use for the right situation.
Like sa experience ko, kasi I've been an editor for the longest time.
Yeah.
So right now, meron akong sariling Python script to organize my files. So let's say based on the metadata na makukuha ko, when I start a project, gagawa na siya ng file folder system, may assets, merong graphics, and then pag may dumating na files, whether it's from Dropbox, whether it's from G Drive or whatever,
pupul niya lahat yun at i-organize niya sa akin para sa akin based on mga ano. So, may mga ways and means and may mga workflows talagang generic at the same time meron din specific.
Correct.
And then eventually we will explore some of them or most of them. Okay. Ano na, Red?
Okay, well, 1 hour 15 minutes. Ang tagal natin, ha?
No,
So,
maganda usapan.
Oh, no, this is good. No.
Yeah.
Wala problema. Pero we usually cap it to 1 hour, pero this is good.
Yeah.
Salamat, Jonathan. Babalik ka, ha? Kasi pag naman, paikot-ikot lang tayo.
Yeah.
Naghahalin-hinan din eh. So, Joey, thanks for being here.
Anytime, lagi tayo nandito.
Or next week, andito ka ba?
Joey, andito ka next week? Kay
Andito
Sean?
ako.
Kay Sean? Good.
Kay Sean?
Yes.
Jonathan, invited din.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll join.
Okay.
I remember that name, Sean, di ba? Tagal
Sean.
na.
Yeah. Oh, galing.
Sa Canada eh.
Oh,
Galing nga sa US yun eh.
Yeah. I recognize the name.
Yeah. Tatanungin natin siya tungkol kay Trump.
Wait, di ba sabi natin, walang ganyan. No. Number 1 rule natin, di ba?
Kulang ang isa ko.
Oo. Ano rin, meron din akong
Sila nakamagahat eh.
Yeah, meron din akong tanong kasi Red, meron din ako isa pa. Like si Jeff, di ba? Jeff Mercader, landscape photographer. Oh, nagbukas ng ilaw mo. Oh, nagsacycle ng ilaw mo.
Anyway, go ahead.
Anyways, meron tayong isa pa kung, di ba, nakausap na landscape photographers. Then, di ba, meron tayong PG, meron din tayong outsider ng PG, time and again. So at least meron tayong variety.
Gaya ni Russell Brown, right?
Yeah. So time and again, duguan ang mga ilaw natin. So,
Oo, kasi kaso yun mahirap English eh.
yeah.
Yun mahirap.
Sama natin si Joey, si Jonathan, di ba?
Yeah. Anyway.
Pero pag may ganung guest na ganun talagang hardcore, kailangan may listahan na tayong question.
Yeah.
Meron tayong listahan doon. Meron
Alam
tayong
mo kami, hindi lang namin sinunod.
Yun lang.
That's fine, but you have idea, you have parang pseudo script. You have a list. You're not gonna
and most of these naman kapag like si Sean sa kanyang mga susunod natin, lahat pinapadala na natin ng mga questions ahead, yung mga discussion points na pag-usapan natin. So, now ngayon, again, for some mga viewers natin, kung meron kayong mga gusto mga tanong pa, ideally, we want to join.
So, dapat ikaw talagang moderator ka, ikaw role mo yon. Ikaw yung kasi pagkatuloy si Ras, kung ako rin nandoon, mapopros ako kasi ang sarap pakinggan siya eh. I just want, di ba?
Ako ngayon, kahit matagal ko na siya nakilala, mangha pa rin ako hanggang ngayon eh. 10 years ago, nakapag-usap na kami, nakapagkwentuhan kami. Previous to that, meron na rin mga engagements before. Pero hanggang ngayon, si Russell Brown pa rin siya. Kumbaga sa dahil sa kanya, natuto ko mag-Photoshop, di ba? Parang, at least for work.
Parang nasarap na lang makinig na lang. Go ahead. Sige.
Yeah. Kwento mo na. Alright.
Natanggal
nawala.
Okay, so signing up. See you guys.
Signing up.
Next week. Salamat.
Next week,
Thank you
kita.
for having me. I didn't know.
No, I thought you
Well, eto every other week, pag meron tayong Pinoygraphers or a PG member nakausap, talagang anything goes.
I'll up the production value next time.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I'll have Goku.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you sa lahat. Good evening sa lahat. At kita-kita sa susunod.
Philippines.
Okay.
Surprise, guys.
Okay.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.